Hello everyone and welcome to the Bitcoin section of the course. In this section of the course we're going to be covering everything to do with Bitcoins, from what Bitcoins are to how they work, and all the way on to how you can basically use it for transactions on the deep web or the dark net. So let's get started. So in this video, this is a basic introduction to what Bitcoin is, how it's used, and what the current value is. So let's get started. So firstly, you'll realize that Bitcoin has a very nice logo. I mean, it just looks like a coin, but with a bit. Basically, the B means a bit. So let's get started. Coming on to understanding what a Bitcoin is, you first have to understand that it has an abbreviation, and that is BTC. So let me basically explain what Bitcoin is. So Bitcoin, firstly, is a decentralized currency, which essentially means that it's not a physical currency. It's used on the internet. So it's not a currency that you can basically have physically. It's a currency that is essentially worth value on the internet or digitally. Alright, so if today the internet were to collapse, Bitcoin would also collapse with it. And money, as like money has today, will not have any real value. However, it does have value because the internet is such a widely used tool. Secondly, it's the most preferred for payments on the dark web or the deep web. And I think most of you guys already know this, that it is the most preferred method of payment when coming to transactions on the deep web, for the simple fact that it has the best anonymity in terms of how anonymous this payment is. Now, you also have to understand that Bitcoin is not completely anonymous, all right? It's not really completely hidden behind any shadows. However, it is much more anonymous when compared to your credit card. And I'm going to get into basically Bitcoin mixing in the future videos in this section. So let's go on till the final part here, which is basically Bitcoin is a very erratic currency. Now let me explain what this means. Bitcoin is highly volatile and unpredictable in the sense that it does not store value in a very predictable fashion. Now you might be asking yourself, well, has Bitcoin's value always risen? Well, yes, that's true, but it has sometimes gone down, and that really is dangerous in terms of people who want to try and invest in it. I will not recommend anyone to invest heavily into Bitcoin, because you can't really tell what the value is going to be a few years from now, and we're going to get into that in a few minutes here. Now let's actually look at some basic Bitcoin terminology. You might have heard of some of these terms if you're keen on the whole Bitcoin scene. So firstly, you have your Bitcoin wallet. All right. Now this is where your Bitcoins will be stored for later use. It's just your virtual wallet where you can store Bitcoins. All right. This is unique to you and it's protected by you. You have a password, and you basically understand that this is your wallet where you can store your Bitcoins. Of course, it's a virtual wallet. Now, secondly, Bitcoin address. All right. Now this is basically an alphanumeric key that will be used to send and receive Bitcoin. Now this is your unique address that will be used, for example, if you want to pay someone on the deep web or the darknet, you basically give them your Bitcoin address, and so on and so forth, vice versa. Now, a blockchain. This isn't really important right now. We'll get into it when we're talking about Bitcoin mining. But basically, a blockchain is a list of blocks, which I'll explain what a block is, that have been mined since the start of cryptocurrency. Now, I'll get to that in a few minutes, most probably in the next videos. Now let's look at what a Bitcoin ATM is. Now, a Bitcoin ATM is the location where you can buy Bitcoins with real money. So this is where you exchange your money, for example, US dollars, that's an example, or you can talk about the Great Britain pound. You can exchange that for Bitcoin. All right. So you're basically transferring, as you guys know, you're basically converting your currency into Bitcoin. All right. And vice versa. Now, let's look at Bitcoin mining, which is a very, very hot topic right now. And I'll probably cover a few videos on Bitcoin mining and how you can do it yourself. So Bitcoin mining is the generation or production of Bitcoins in the exchange for solving cryptographic problems using computer processing. So basically, if I were to set up a hypothetical Bitcoin miner, this will include a computer, obviously, And essentially what your computer is going to be doing, it's going to be using a lot of its processing power for solving these cryptographic problems. And in exchange for your service, you will be granted a certain amount of Bitcoin depending on the complexity of the cryptographic problem you are using. I hope that wasn't too confusing. But essentially Bitcoin mining is, as most of you, or as I'm guessing some of you may have heard, is basically just a cluster of computers connected together performing cryptographic problems in exchange for Bitcoin, which later can be converted into real money. So it is a money making scheme. Now let's look at the Bitcoin value, because I think it's very essential that we understand what I was pointing out earlier. If we look as of recording this video, the Bitcoin is 2,218.47 US dollars. That's one Bitcoin. Now, if you pay attention to this little graph here, it's going to tell you that Bitcoin started out almost at a zero value in 2013. All right. Now, by the end of 2013, going on to 2014, it took the hugest spike, I think, in value, and went up to, I think, $1,120, if I'm not wrong, if I kept up with that right. And then after 2 months, it dropped. All right, a few $100s, and then it climbed again, and then it dropped, and then it climbed again, and then it went down by the end of 2014, and then it climbed again just at the beginning of 2015, and then declined very steadily, I think up to $300 or $200, and then kept steady throughout the entire 2015, the mid and of 2015 onwards, and then all the way to 2016, the beginning of 2016, it started climbing at a very steady rate, almost like a tangent curve, as you can see right here, with a few hikes along the way. And the highest value, the highest peak, I think, that it's reached ever in history is basically very, very recently in 2017. As you can see, the value is now $2,000. But what I was pointing out with how erratic it is as you can see, this graph does not make very sense if you are to look at it in a mathematical or statistical point of view. What I mean is, if you guys are aware of statistics, you will understand that this graph is not a very good graph in terms of if you are investing in this currency, for example, because it goes up, comes down, goes up, comes down very erratically. It's not stable for a long period of time. It would be acceptable if the value would keep on going, but over the period of 2 years increase gradually with little or no spikes, because that is very, very threatening, and you really can't tell what the future holds. So that's basically it for this video, guys. If you have any questions, just let me know in the Q&A section of the course. I'm going to be continuing in the next video about how to set up your Bitcoin address and your wallet for Bitcoin transactions. So thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. Hello everyone, and welcome to this video. In this video, I'm basically going to be explaining to you guys what blockchains are, or what a blockchain is. So basically, let's start from the building blocks. A block is basically a record or a log of a transaction, all right, that you basically a Bitcoin transaction, all right. So a block is a log or a record of a Bitcoin transaction, all right. Now basically what forms a blockchain is when a block, which is also a record of a Bitcoin transaction, joins the other block in a chronological sequence. So basically a blockchain is a collection or a record of all transactions that were done on the deep web through Bitcoin. All right. So basically, if for example the first transaction connected to the second one after that, all in a chronological order, this all forms what's known as a blockchain. So let me basically explain this to you using the website. So the website I'm using here is the blockchain.info website. And basically it's going to show you transactions per day. So it's going to say the number of Bitcoin transactions in the last 24 hours. All right. And it's going to basically give you a few charts, statistical charts about what Bitcoin, what's going on. And it's going to say these are, you see, this is basically how many transactions are currently being completed right now, and you can see there's quite a lot being performed. And as I was saying, basically if I perform a transaction today using Bitcoin, it's going to be stored in a block, all right, and then that block is going to connect to the one before mine. So it all goes in a sequence of chronological order. So the newest will come first, and so on and so forth. So that's basically it for this video, guys. I just wanted to explain what blockchains are, so you guys get a good understanding of what they are, and how they basically relate to the deep web and Bitcoin. So in the next video, we'll actually get started choosing a Bitcoin wallet. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. If you have any questions, leave them in the Q&A section, and goodbye. Hello everyone, and welcome to this video. In this lecture, we're going to be basically looking at the Bitcoin wallets and how to set up a Bitcoin wallet, and what are currently the best options in terms of Bitcoin wallets. So let's get started. Now, I'm not going to be showing you every Bitcoin wallet service online. I'm just going to give you my tips and my opinion on what are the best ones and what I would recommend to a beginner getting into Bitcoin. Of course, if you're not a beginner and you already have experience basically making transactions with Bitcoin, you're free to use whatever other service that you may like or that you enjoy. So the first option I'm going to show you is Coinbase. Now, the reason I say Coinbase is because, firstly, it's the leading Bitcoin service in terms of exchanges done. That means it has a very high user base, and from that it means that it's very, very trusted. Now, it's not completely fully trusted because of the following reasons. Firstly, it does not deal with your Bitcoin wallet in the appropriate way, in the sense that it basically knows your address, your Bitcoin address, and from that basically means that it can identify you, for example, with your personal information to that Bitcoin address, and that really hinders anonymity. And if someone were to get that, they can literally just trace all the transactions that you've done, and that's something that people really don't like. Apart from that, as I said, it's very beginner friendly, and it's a very stable service in the sense that it's got a lot of backing and has got a lot of investors. The one of the disadvantages I think is a big problem is the fact that it's not supported worldwide and is only supported currently in 32 countries. This service, Coinbase, basically operates online, so you have to create an account, and you can basically get your address, your Bitcoin address, and start transacting with Bitcoin. I'm going to get to that shortly. So basically, you can access it on the web and on your mobile device on Android or iPhone. It has insurance protection. You have instant exchange, secure storage, full control or in terms of your private keys. It has a signature vault, and you can basically invest in the currency by scheduling buys. So those are really advanced things that I don't think you'd like to get into. So that's basically it for Coinbase. Now let's go on to my personal favorite and what I would highly recommend for beginners, and that is Bitcoin Core. Now, Bitcoin Core, as the tagline basically is telling you, helping you keep Bitcoin decentralized, which was the reason why Bitcoin was created. And Coinbase will slightly delve into that phase where it really is trying to make Bitcoin centralized, in the sense that they basically link your personal information with your Bitcoin address, and Bitcoin was meant to be anonymous. So let me just explain what Bitcoin Core is. So this again is a Bitcoin wallet which provides you with your address, and you can basically perform transactions. Now, the thing I like about this is the fact that you basically download it on your desktop, whether you're running Windows, a Mac OS, or any Linux distro. You basically control everything about your Bitcoin wallet. So advantages are it's very stable. It's very secure because everything, your anonymity is in your hands. It's on your desktop, so no one can really get to know anything about that. As I said, it's very, very stable in the sense that, again, everything is up to you. You keep it running when you want. You basically control your transactions. You can view your transactions, and no one is doing it for you. The only downfall to this service is that it doesn't work on the internet and on mobile devices, and I guess that's also just that you may look at it as an advantage, because when it's running on your mobile devices, it's a higher risk that your device may get compromised and that your information, such as your Bitcoin address, may be leaked. So I'm actually going to be demonstrating this right now. So what you want to do is just hit download Bitcoin Core, and you can download it for whatever operating system that you're currently running. I'm going to download it for Windows 64-bit. Again, any operating system that you want is supported. So I've already downloaded it and it's right here. It's the setup. Just run the setup. Again, if you're another operating system, it should be pretty similar. So let me just start the setup, and here we are. So welcome to the Bitcoin Core setup wizard. So just like all Windows setup wizards, we're just going to hit next, 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 and let it install. It's going to take a few seconds, hopefully not too long. And there we are. I'm just going to hit next and run Bitcoin Core so we can actually get started. All right, now it's going to basically tell you, welcome to Bitcoin Core. As this is the first time the program has launched, you can choose where Bitcoin Core will store its data. Bitcoin Core will download and store a copy of the blockchain, Bitcoin blockchain. At least 122 gigabytes of data will be stored in this directory and will grow over time. The wallet will also be stored in this directory. Now, a lot of people have been saying this about Bitcoin Core is the fact that it downloads the entire blockchain, and that's 122 gigabytes. Now, this may be it may discourage you from using it, but let me just explain why it's going to store the Bitcoin blockchain. So that basically it just helps with anonymity. And I'm not forcing you guys to use this option, but I'm just going to be demonstrating other things with it. So if you're not comfortable with it using 122 gigabytes of data, that's fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use a custom directory, and I'm just going to put it in my hard drive here, my huge my 500 gigabyte hard drive right here. I'm just going to select that folder, and I'm just going to hit OK, right? As I said, again, you don't have to use this, but I'm just going to show you how Bitcoin basically works with this. So let me just show you the program right now. So just give it a few seconds to start up, and it's going to say loading wallet, right? Just give it a few seconds. Shouldn't take that long to start. All right, so it's going to tell you that your recent transactions may not yet be visible, blah, 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 blah. So it's basically going to start doing it's going to start downloading or storing the blockchain data. Now, I'm just going to hide this, and it's going to say Bitcoin balances are 0, 0, and that's because we have not yet set up anything yet. So if you're going to file, you can basically go to this file option right here, and if I open URL, you can basically open a payment file, which I'll get to. You can then say send. You can basically send money or Bitcoin to a Bitcoin address, and you can enter the amount. All right. If you go to receive, all right, it's going to basically give you a label to receive and the message. All right. Now, if we go into transactions, if we go into sending addresses, these are basically where you can add addresses that you may want to be sending Bitcoin to regularly. So I'm just going to close that because I don't want to add anything. You now want to go into settings, and you can basically encrypt your wallet. Now, if I go into options right here, let it just it's not opening the options. All right, so it's going to say here you can basically configure whether you want to start Bitcoin on system login, size of the database, wallet, whether you want to enable coin control. You can then look at network, where you can change it if you're using proxies, really advanced things that maybe you may not want to basically touch, but in case you want to, these are the settings that you could change. You can then change the unit. I'm just going to be using bitcoins .btc and hit OK. Now, as it's saying, it's going to be basically syncing headers, and this is basically going to mean that it's going to store data. If you look at transactions, you can basically export whatever transactions that you have onto a CSV file or whatever you feel is good for you. If you go into help, you can debug, and you have some command line options. Nothing really interesting there that you might want to check out. Now, If I go back into receive, all right, you can basically just look at the fact that it says use this form to request payments. All fields are optional, all right. So you can say amount, and if I say request amount, request payment, sorry, it's going to say payment information, Bitcoin. Basically, this is your Bitcoin address right here, which has a QR code. So this basically is your Bitcoin address, and this is what you're going to be using to receive a Bitcoin, obviously. And you can do this through your Bitcoin wallet, and you can scan this to basically pay instantly or copy the address. So that's basically your Bitcoin wallet, how to set up your Bitcoin wallet, and how to basically get your Bitcoin address, how to basically send and receive Bitcoin, and that's basically it. Now again, it'll work very similarly in Coinbase, but I'll get to that in the next video. Hopefully we can check that out, but it doesn't really need any special type of information to basically access. It's really user friendly, and hopefully you guys can get started with Bitcoin and your Bitcoin wallet, and hopefully start making some transactions. So that's basically it for this video, guys. I know it was quite long, but I needed to explain some of these things. So yeah, guys, I'll catch you in the next video. Hello everyone, and welcome to this video. In this video, I'm going to be basically showing you what my other recommendation is for people who are interested in Bitcoin wallets. Now, in my previous video, I went through Bitcoin Core, which a lot of you may not be you may not like the fact that it'll take so much space on your computer, and that's understandable. 122 gigabytes is a lot of storage space, and a lot of you may not have that. So if you're looking for one similar to Bitcoin Core but that works online, blockchain.com is one of, I think, the best alternatives that you can go for, and in fact is one of my personal favorites. But I don't use an online service. I like using the desktop one, but that doesn't have to apply to you. You can basically use whatever you're comfortable with. So basically, blockchain.com, the world is now open for business. That's their basic tagline, and it's going to basically give you a bit of information about themselves. They have 14 plus million wallets. That's a lot, right? It has 100 million plus transactions, and has a basically some basic support from the New York Times, claiming that blockchain is the early leader. They're actually making the entire ecosystem. So there you are, really. It basically works really simply. All you have to do is just hit get a free Bitcoin wallet, and it's going to open a blockchain.info wallet sign up. And what you're going to do is you just want to enter your email. So I'm just going to do that right now at gmail.com, and I'm just going to enter my password, right? So I'm just going to enter my password here. Going to make sure your password is nice and strong, obviously for security issues. So just agree to the terms of service. Of course, you have to go through them first. If you're interested in, just hit continue. And I don't want to save my password on the browser. And it's going to say wallet created with identifier, and it'll give you an alphanumeric code right there. So it's going to say welcome. Thank you for joining over 13 million blockchain wallet users. Our wallet makes transacting easy and intuitive, and is helping to create a fair, accessible, and open financial future. Visit our security center to keep your wallet safe. All right, let's get started. So when you open it, you're basically it's going to give you the tagline, be your own bank, right? And you can basically send or request. Obviously, send or request Bitcoin. It's going to give you how much Bitcoin you have in your wallet. I have 0 Bitcoin right now. I'll be actually showing you a tip on how to get free Bitcoin in the next video. That's pretty interesting, but we'll get to that when that comes. So basically, you have a very nice user interface right here. So on your left, you have your home, you have your transactions. It's basically a log of all your transactions. You then have your security center, which it advised us to visit. So it's basically going to say verify your email. You can add a backup recovery phase, and you can create a password hint. All very good security features. You then have level 2, which is link your mobile number, and then you have block Tor requests, which is level 3 advanced security to harden your wallet. Very good and very simple, as you can see, for the beginner. You then have your settings, which will basically give you use your wallet ID to log in our web client, or simply scan the code below, click on show pairing code with your blockchain mobile wallet, iOS and Android. By the way, it works on iOS and Android, and basically to access your wallet on your mobile devices, right? So you can get your wallet ID, and you can basically mobile app pairing code. You can show the pairing code so you can pair it with your Android or iOS device. In terms of preferences, you have your email address, mobile number, your currency, your Bitcoin unit, and all the good settings that you have. You even have themes right here, very nice. You then have your security, again, all to do with security in terms of two-step verification and your password hints, etc. In terms of addresses, you have your Bitcoin wallet, and you can basically add. For example, if I add let's say test, and we say create new, and it's going to say my Bitcoin wallet. I have a test Bitcoin wallet that has 0 BTC, and you can basically import your addresses. Really just a lot of things that you can really do here. Going back home, again, you can send Bitcoin, which is pretty simple, from my Bitcoin wallet to you have your address, which you can scan or enter it manually, and you can enter the amount and basically give a description. In terms of requesting, you can basically, you have your Bitcoin address right here, which you can you basically can copy and keep safe in case you need it on hand. You can enter your Bitcoin, and basically the person, you can share this with the person who wants to send you money, or Bitcoin for that matter. And that's basically it. Very simple website, very simple wallet. As you can see, I set it up in under 5 minutes, and that's basically it. You can basically set up your security in the security center and harden your wallet, and it really all comes down to personal preference in terms of Bitcoin wallets. So that's basically it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, let me know in the Q&A section of the course. Bye. Hello everyone, and welcome to this video. In this video, we're going to be basically looking at one of the ways in which you can earn free Bitcoin, and that is through Bitcoin faucet websites. Now, faucet websites are not basically exclusive to Bitcoin. They also work with other types of cryptocurrencies, but we're here to learn about basically earning Bitcoin for free. So let me basically explain to you guys what a Bitcoin faucet website is. So a faucet website is a website that will give out Bitcoin or other cryptocurrency for free in exchange for a simple task. For example, they could basically ask you to watch an ad video, or to review basically an application, a game, or a website, really just making you influence the advertisers that they are actually advertising in order to basically get ad revenue. That's their current business model. So in essence, a faucet website is a website that will give you Bitcoin in exchange for performing simple tasks like watching a video ad, as I've just mentioned, and other stuff related basically to computing and browsing. Now, they will usually, most of these faucet websites will pay out a very small amount of Bitcoin or other cryptocurrency. They usually pay out in small amounts called satoshis. So for those of you who don't know what a satoshi is basically the smallest unit of a Bitcoin, and they are equivalent to a millionth of a Bitcoin. As you can see, it's about 0.00. Basically, you get the millionth of a Bitcoin. So it's very little. And when talking about how much they'll basically pay out, they pay out in satoshis. That does not mean they'll pay out in one satoshi. They'll pay out in a few, let's say 20 satoshis, and maybe even 100 satoshis, depending on the type of task that you're doing. But the amount or the value of the payout that they'll give you also depends on the current state of the current value of the Bitcoin. So if the value of the Bitcoin is higher, which is what it is right now, they will give you a lesser amount of satoshis, because that whatever the amount of the satoshis that they give you is still worth something at the end of the day. And who knows, maybe if you save those satoshis and maybe that adds up to 1 Bitcoin, and in the future the Bitcoin value rises into a few maybe a few tens of thousands, that's really just profit. So you have to just play this really smart investment game. So as I said, their business model is focused on advertisement revenue, where they'll get advertisers to basically use their website to advertise their products, and they basically get users to basically verify the advertisement and run through the advertisement, and they basically pay out using Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies. So the other feature of these Bitcoin faucet websites is the fact that when after you've performed a few of these tasks, they don't allow you to withdraw the amount of Bitcoins that you've earned. They basically want you to be basically they want to make sure that you're actually using this service in the long term rather than for the short term, because in the past there have been many cases where the sites have been spammed with bots. Where, if you guys don't know what bots are basically just automated computers that will basically do the tasks automatically, and will basically do it repeatedly just to earn more money and saving energy and time from the actual user. So they'll basically make you do about 100 tasks, and they give you a waiting period, and so that they basically reduce the amount of bots and spammers on the website who just perform one task and then withdraw, because that just defeats the purpose really. So that's basically it. That was basic introduction to what faucet websites are. In the next video, I'm going to be explaining how to use the faucet websites and some of my favorite faucet websites that will basically give you a good amount of Bitcoin or Satoshis. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions, just let me know in the Q&A section of the course. Alright, goodbye. Hello everyone and welcome to this video. In this video we're going to be looking at the best Bitcoin faucet websites that are around. So in the previous video we actually talked about what a Bitcoin faucet website is and how they work. So we're going to be looking at some of the best options you have right now. So if you want to just basically do a Google search of the best Bitcoin faucet lists as of the current or the date that you are going to be looking at it. So I have this website right here, and it's basically referencing some of the best Bitcoin faucet websites that are currently available. So let's actually check them out. So we're going to check out the first one, freebitco.in. Very nice domain name. So just you just want to open it. I'm just going to open it in a new tab right here, and it's going to take us to the website. So win free Bitcoins every hour. Win up to 200 in free Bitcoins. Multiply your Bitcoins by playing high-low. Win high-low jackpots up to 1 Bitcoin, etc., etc. You then have a 50% referral commission for life, which means if you refer someone to this website, you will get 50% off the referral fee. So you can basically create an account, which that's what I'm going to do right now, just to show you how they basically work in real life, or in basically in practice. So I'm going to give in my email, right, and I'm going to enter my password, and I'm just going to hit sign up. I don't want to save my password on my browser. By the way, that's also a good security tip. Don't actually do that. And there we are. We're actually done, right? So it's going to take us to free BTC, this section in the website. It's very, very well designed website, and it's going to tell you how many Bitcoins you have or Satoshis you have for this that will actually apply here. Now, so it's going to say these are basically notices that you have over here, and you just want to enter this captcha right here, and it's going to ask you to enter images. I'm just going to select images with a storefront. I'm guessing these look like storefronts, and voila, that should take us. Alright, now did you know you can multiply your Bitcoins, blah blah blah. I'm going to skip that. And now what this means is this is basically your high-low type of the way you earn money on this website. As you can see, it's gonna say, once I clicked that captcha, it's gonna say I have 0.000081 Bitcoins, right? Now if I say withdraw Bitcoin, it's gonna say minimum withdraw is about, you can say 0.003 300,000 Satoshi, right? So there's basically a time period in which you have to wait, and all you have to do really is just click once the time runs out over here. Now this is what I was getting to about the bots, and that's why some of the websites have this this withdrawal period where they stop you from withdrawing at a certain period of time. So once this timer runs out, you can basically hit the captcha and get some other bitcoins, and it's as simple as that. That's how to get free Bitcoin. And it's as simple as that, really. So if you can also check out other parts of their websites where it says earn bitcoins, and basically this is where you can just it'll basically show you proof as to how authentic this service is, and the fact that they actually pay you out Bitcoin. So all you have to do is just keep on entering these captchas or offers, and as it says, if you get the lucky number, you basically get 0.81 805 80055, and the value just keeps on going as this random number generator basically ticks. So it's just a waiting game and about a bit of patience involved, and eventually maybe you'll have a good amount, and you know that the current value of Bitcoin is high, so you never know, really. That's basically it for this video, guys. That's just an example of some of the many Bitcoin faucet websites you can find out there, and how simple it is to basically make Bitcoin. You're not going to make a lot, but eventually, if you just persevere and keep on using these websites, you'll have a good amount out of nothing, really. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, just let me know in the Q&A section of the course. Bye.